found these photos of him. A lot of it just feels really empty without Eric, you know? I can't go out on that balcony and not feel some pain, especially when the moon is out. We used to watch the moon together, and he would hold me from behind, or I'd sit on his lap and hug him and kiss him. And that's what makes it so hard to move from here, because it was our place, and it's all of our stuff, and it's our life. Supposed to be Eric or the universe sending someone truly curious to maybe help lead me back to some memories, because I feel like I'm losing it. And yet I know that Eric is okay. I was just writing this, I'm like, why do I know that Eric is okay? Like, I know he's okay, but why can't I believe that for myself? Why do I still feel so lost and lonely? Like, everything they tell you is that the universe has a plan and that there's all this love for you. But I just don't feel it. Even with all the good things in my life, I just don't feel it. See all of it. They both said, yes, because Eric and I tried to get pregnant with we're contracted to be adventurers. See the lights flash. And it's like, that's right, yeah. Because I just want to be. It was incredible. That's why I want to kill myself. I mean, I see us all these places. I was so worried about Eric. I did so much. I was part of a lot of play. We ended up going. I worried about something happening to him. That's how we really were just best friends. Hi. Okay. Eric was a pro skier, lived all over the world, daredevil, bad boy, but a beautiful bad boy. You know what I mean? I mean, like, beautiful inside, abundant, spiritual. Like, Eric was a better person than me. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was naughty, but he was a better person than me. The memories are beautiful. Yes, I've got bad memories, you know, and I mean, of course I've got bad memories. Every relationship does. But most of the memories are fucking beautiful. I remember we really crushed 6 years, you know, like, what didn't we have in there? But I can still remember the feelings of falling in love with him. I can remember very specific moments too. Like being in Norway before we were fully together. After his mom died, I went to Norway, and I was still living in Manhattan and he was in Venice Beach. And I was sitting on the couch and he was sitting at the dining room table, the one that I have in our apartment now that we brought over from Norway. And he was trying to write his eulogy. And he looked over at me and he said he loved me. I was like, did he just say he loved me? We used to like to sit out on the balcony at night during the summer in our gravity chairs and think Pink Floyd, How I Wish You Were Here. On the patio, there you can see the out patio, a couple of chairs, and we used to take a little speaker out there, drink a little wine or beer, and I just smoke a little weed, and we'd sit there holding hands. Eric liked to do this lazy costume where he'd put earbuds in, and he had a very realistic dildo. And he would hang that out of his pants, and people would say, "What are you?" He's like, "I'm just rocking out with me on my cock out." I was like, oh my God. So I see all of it. I see the crazy costumes, I see the lights flashing, I see the dildo, I see Eric's face. Like when he proposed, when we jumped out of a plane, and he landed first, and then he got down on one knee, and he's like, "Will you marry me?" I'm like, "Yes." If we backtracked, a billion years, something led us to each other, like all of it, like all of these connections. And Lane, it was like a hot summer day, and we lived on the boardwalk in Venice, and it was this shit show. In Harlem, I even had a washer and dryer. Nobody has that in Manhattan. And then I moved to Venice. I was like, I had no washer and dryer. It's kind of like this shithole on the beach, but I didn't care. And I remember the sun filtering in through those broken blinds and my head on his chest. And that's one of the happiest I've ever been. Ever. Feeling completely content. And I always said that about Eric, it's like I wanted to die in his arms. And he got to die in mine. Grief doesn't give a shit. It loves to grab you by the throat whenever it feels like. And it terrifies you. I cannot tell you how many strangers I've cried with this year. In their arms, how many people have hugged me. It's embarrassing. But it's also not. I also don't care. Because I can't hide how I feel about Eric. I still show people Eric's pictures all the time. I'm so proud of him, so proud of him. I'm as proud of him now as when he was alive. I used to always show people pictures of like, oh, this is my husband. And, he was the biggest thing in my life and the most important thing in my life. And I don't know how to let him go. So many memories. Our anniversary, all those things I told you the first time we made love. Christmas, his birthday, when we got engaged, jumping out of a plane. The hospital is the hardest. The hospital is so hard. I fucking hate the hospital. I hate those memories. It's like I keep getting, I feel like I'm in a black abyss. And I like claw my way out for these little bright spots, but I'm like yesterday I was in the bathroom till 3 p.m. just trying not to take a pill, trying not to have a drink. Just crying and screaming for Eric. Driving to the mountains in Utah, we always held hands in the car. So, like, what reminds me of Eric, where I feel him the most, never anything more than the mountains of Utah have I felt him. You go from making memories, especially us, just constantly, you know, we did everything together, not in a codependent way, in the way that we love to. You know, we didn't have a traditional marriage. We were together a lot, and at the end of the day, all we really gave a shit was about each other. And certainly he only really gave a shit about me. The blur really started the second that he went to the hospital. Seeing him take his last breaths. Them telling me that he was dead on the dining room floor. And then reviving him. And then the coma. And then making the decision to take him off life support. I sent him off to wherever he went, you know, with an Emperor King send-off. I hope I get to go that way with so much love and people. And, you know, he got lifted up to wherever he went with a lot. I remember Jen sent me that picture, and it's just the one that breaks my heart the most, but it's the one that says everything. They used to say that the only time his heart would beat like crazy is when I walked into the room and he heard my voice. I had snuck our cat into the ICU a couple of days, and she sat with him for hours. I shook him. I said, "You don't leave me. You don't get to leave me." I could have kept him alive. He wasn't gonna die. Silvery gray green eyes, blue sometimes. Today was beautiful. Going to the animal hospital where the cha-cha hungover, driving to Camarillo to jump out of a plane and get engaged. The way you best meals at our moms at the mention verified impatiently driving me around for hours trying to find cookie perfumery and buy it with it. Or when he killed me, hugging me, his impatiently tricking me down the mountain path to rescue monkey raccoon and tried to steal him from me. The way he'd hold me from behind while we gazed at the full moon from our balcony. 1 second, your entire world is shattered. Shattered. Everything that you knew 2 seconds ago is gone. I ask, you know, what is grieving? Grieving is fear. You know, it's the unknown. It's the time period between your weakest, most suicidal self and your strongest, most enlightened self. And it's cracking wide open and transforming. Now I can see the process of grieving and what it gives you. It's grief is your teacher, and it's the agonizingly best teacher for what we hate talking about the most, death. I've become grateful for the grief because it helps me see beyond what I thought I knew.